Good morning. I'm live. This is Sandra Schaefer, your host of Racing the Races, and I'm here live at the Grandma How You Doing event. We're gonna get started today. We'll be interviewing some folks and listening to, but they're gonna start in prayer. So let's go ahead and listen to the prayer.
Oh God, we thank you for this day and we thank you for this occasion. We thank you for Grandma Aretha, Lord God, for this that she put together. As we come together today to partnership, Lord God, I pray that you be in this. Give us that strength, give us that will mind, and give us, God, that love for one another. That as we go, Lord God, to do your work, because basically that's what it is, to reach our kids, Lord God, to do what is needed and necessary. We want to thank you for the strength. We want to thank you, Lord God, for what you're about to do and what you're going to do. As we partner together, Lord God, and we thank you, Lord God, not only it will stop back here, but it will go over all over this world, and we will be the Grandma How You Doing and do what needs to be done as we partnership together with Grace and Graces. And anybody that want to come together, we want to thank you for your amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves so much like all of us. And we all can say amen.
Amen.
Amen. We are so wonderful.
Y'all just listen to that wonderful prayer of the folks that are here.
Co-partner, co-planner, etc. Our vice chair of Broward County Public Schools, Ms. Debbie
Yes, so we're here with Grace and the Races. Grandma How You Doing event has just gotten started. I'm gonna go in on my phone so you guys can get a full scope of what's happening right here. Miss Aretha is speaking. Miss Aretha is speaking about this event. I didn't get to do the video, but I hope I'll log in because this conversation is important. How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
Yes. That's what she may be more publicly known for.
Mm-hmm.
But our grandmother
That's why.
That she does so much more.
That's why intro. All right, so let's listen to Miss Aretha.
Baskets filled with food, filled with household essentials, filled with self-care items, and she's just been a part of this initiative from day one. Now, what we've asked her to do is to help us get the word out, and so that folks can have a better idea of Grandma How You Doing, is to just do some community interviews before we get started for about 10 more minutes. If she's done just 3 5-minute interviews with anyone who's interested in sitting with her and just saying why you believe this initiative will be impactful in supporting our youth academic journey here in Broward County. So the presentation is going to start at 11:30, so we'll do some more official invitations at 11:30. But we encourage you to take this remaining 10 minutes to do some networking around the room, to do a 3-minute interview with Sandra in the back. We're going to start our interviews off with our beautiful Grandma Bevel. She is phenomenal, and she's going to go talk with Sandra just for a few minutes. We're also going to ask for our Grandma Rosalie to go and speak with Sandra just a few minutes after Grandma Bevel finishes. So is that okay with everybody? Yeah. All right, so we're going to ask you to just take 10 minutes, look at the people in the room, see if there's an opportunity for you to connect and network with folks. Go over, chat with our vendors, find out about this information because we want your full attention when the presentation starts at 11:30. And after it's done, you don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to get that great information.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the interview started. I'm waiting for Grandma Rosalie to come on over to have a conversation about it and tell us what it is that she expects from this wonderful event today. You hear all the noise in the background. We got all kind of vendors. I was trying to log in on the phone, but way too much feedback for that to work. So we're gonna see how that goes. So we're here. I'll be here at the end of the event to talk to you guys about what it is that the community learned and found out about starting up and setting up a PTA and PTO at the schools in District 5. It's a need that we realize that's extremely important, and that's why Ms. Aretha put it together in order for it to happen. So the folks are going to be out here networking. I think I'm going to go ahead and switch on out and go in on my phone because it'll give me just more ability to move around. All right, so give me about a couple of minutes. I'm going to run the commercial in the meantime, and I will log in on a different platform right now. All right, let's go ahead and run this commercial for a minute here and see how everybody's doing with this wonderful event. Let me play this. Yes.
Where should I sit? Over there? Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences.
All right, everybody, we're back here with one of our first grandmas. She's gonna go ahead and tell us what it is, introduce herself to us, and tell us what it is that she expects from this event today. So go ahead, your grandma. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I don't have to say my full name.
No, just your first name. No, we no government. We don't have to get a full name.
My name is Belva. I am happy to be here today at this grandma event about the PTA and PTO. Why I say it's very important for all grandmas to learn and be able to help their children, especially if they are the ones in charge of the children, living with them and working with them at home. Because grandmas nowadays, they may not know enough to do like helping with the computer. If a child has to go on the computer at home, grandma may not know. So it's good for them to go to a PTA to make sure we have a PTA that they could go to another school and someone who is very educated into training them how to use the computer, that they can help the child at home to do their homework, do their schoolwork. And if they don't go to school and the teacher shows the work on their laptop or so, they can be able to pick it up and be able to do it. Kids who are younger, like say 5, 6, they may not be able to help. They may not have a laptop at home, but I think it's good for Broward County in each school to have a PTA and a PTO, so that those who work within the school administration can have meetings and share with the grandparents how to help their child at home, because sometimes they don't know. So because if the mothers are not there, the fathers are not there, then it's grandparents' responsibility be involved to do that with them. So I know a lot of kids who are not being able to progress on because of them not having the knowledge to use their laptops.
Okay. All right. No, that's definitely a good idea, Miss. Just saying the importance of maybe like the PTA and PTOs having the ability to provide like tutoring type services and assisting the grandparents with the technology and having like some sort of.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay. What about what else do you think it is that the PTA can do? Because one of the things I know is sometimes they have the school fundraise, because maybe there's something that needs to be done at the school and they need parents to help support financially. Do you think that would be a benefit?
As grandparents or as friends or families, they can come up with an idea to say, can we do something to raise a fund, to raise that fund to get this and get that, so we can help this child who's in need. Because sometimes some of them cannot even buy the school uniforms. Even if they need to pay for a book at school or something like that, or get shoes for school, sometimes they don't, and then they don't go to school. Even if they live with parents or grandparents, sometimes they can't go. What if the grandparents are sick? They can't go with them. What do you do?
It provides a support.
So a support system. You need a support system.
So at the school, are you going to be part of it? So if they do develop a PTA or PTO at the school that your grandchildren go to, do you plan on participating or being a part of the PTA?
Yes, I'd love to participate. I'd love to participate at Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Because I live closer by. My kids doesn't go there anymore, but I would love to do that.
Okay.
And I used to do a lot of volunteers in elementary, middle, and high school.
And how do you so for instance, I know that you're a resident of District 5. What is it that you think that either the Broward County school system or the school board representative of District 5 can do to further assist the children that are in that community? What would you like to see them do?
I would love to see that they be able to, I know it's going to be very hard, because if a child goes home and is not getting their homework done, and if they stay for aftercare, I know aftercare is very expensive.
Yes.
And what if they cannot pay for aftercare and they would like to stay for aftercare? What about if get people to come in and help, and say, okay, this is time for you to do your homework, and help them to do their homework
At the school in
at
person.
the school in person.
Yeah.
That we would love to, and volunteer. If we can't do it during the week, if we work or so, then if we could get them to come over for like 1 hour on a Saturday and say, okay, give them a little refreshment and say, okay, what homework do you have today? Let's work with you with the math. Let's see if we could get you where you need to be to do your math, and do your English, and read. Even do a story time with them in the school. You can go there when they have story time. You can do a story time.
So do you think that's something that the parents in that neighborhood would love to see? Because one of the complaints is that sometimes they have things at the school and the parents don't participate. Is that your experience, or is it that they don't have anything for the parents to participate in?
I think if they don't have a part, I don't know if it's the parents doesn't want to participate into it, but I think the parents should be able to participate, and I think we should try to encourage them. Because I encourage parents who I know, grandparents who I know, I said, when they have PTA at the school, go. When they have a meeting, go, because it's going to benefit you and it will benefit the child.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
you don't want the
absolutely.
child to come home and say, oh, do you have homework to do? And they said, no. And then when they go back to school the next day, when they get a report card, they're failing their classes and they don't do their homework.
Yes, and I know, like, even so, you make a really good point. You make a really good point about saying that the parents can ask the child and they can tell you no, and then it turns out that they're failing. And one of the things is that I know at the schools they said, well, we have this thing called Pinnacle. You can go online on Canvas and look to see if your child has done all of their assignments. But as you stated earlier, not everybody has the skill set or the ability or even a computer at home to go and look online to see what's going on.
If whether it's a parent or grandparent, if the teacher, if she has time, take 5 minutes, text them and say, okay, John has homework to do today. And he has a math homework or he has a reading to do. He has to do this page and that page.
Yeah, that's important. I think that would be a good ad.
We're very good for them.
I appreciate your and what do you expect from the speakers that are coming today? What do you expect to hear from them? What do you want to hear them talk about?
I want to hear them talk about what are their input on helping grandparents, especially grandparents in the school, to help their child if the child is living with their grandparents.
Okay.
Because some grandparents may not know what to do. And sometimes some grandparents may not be able to read the assignment and understand what the assignment is all about. The child may not know too, so I'm expecting them to say, okay, if a child needs help, we're going to try to do a group or get 1 or 2 people to say, okay, we need to help this child to build their ability up.
Exactly. I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come and talk with me and promote Grandma's How You Doing and what it is that we expect to get out of this conversation about the PTA and PTOs. And let's see what it is that they come and what they have for us. And we'll want to encourage our parents in the community to be involved in the schools. Like you said, you used to volunteer. We want them to continue that volunteer work and we can continue that service. It's greatly appreciated and it's needed.
One day a week or maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. And say, okay, you're gonna go, you're gonna help do this, help do that, and you're done. Because some parents don't want to be there all day.
Yeah, they probably don't have the luxury to be there all day.
Right.
And then you
may have
be there all
things
day.
to do.
Yes.
They may have things to do and they don't.
Yeah, just 1 hour or something like that would be helpful.
1 hour or say 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay. That have to be the new slogan. We just need 45 minutes to an hour of your time for the children in District 5.
Because I used to volunteer with Take Stock in Children.
Oh yeah, I'm a mentor in Take Stock in Children. I'm a mentor there. Okay.
And then people that there, I like people
Yes, I mean it's a great organization. I'm a mentor in Take Stock in Children.
So you still do it?
Yes, I still do.
I was doing that behind. Oh, my kids graduated. One is in New York, one in Miami, one at Broward College.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm a mentor and take stock in children. I know they've had some changes in the administration there. But there's a great young lady that's in charge of the mentoring program, Kelly Woodson. She's doing a great
Well,
job.
you could tell her about me.
Yes, okay.
I don't know if she.
No, she just started there, like not too long. Yes, a lot of new folks there, but yeah, still a very good organization that does.
And then we used to go to on Saturdays. We used to go to like down to Broward College.
Yes.
They have meetings.
Yes.
It used to be very nice.
They're trying to get back. The pandemic changed a lot of things.
Go
So
to dinners down.
yeah, we had coffee this
we
morning,
had
but virtually. Yes.
Julia. So what a small girl.
It's small
And I
girl.
used to do for the garden.
Garden light up.
Garden
Light up. Nice. No, see, you're serving. You're community serving.
The
Great.
lady was. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened.
You just never know what a grandma gonna say. But it's so good.
I just like dropped up. And I said to myself, I think what happened, someone else took over, and I didn't like her attitude.
Okay.
I said, you know what? I can have better ways to do with my time. Fussing with this woman.
Okay. Hey, listen.
But you know,
Grandma's the best, right? They don't hold back.
Up to where I work, I'm trying to see if I could get with the president of the university to see if I could do volunteer work for the Special Olympics.
Okay. Oh, that would be great.
So I don't know.
That would be great. That would be great. I have a friend that's involved with Special
Well,
Olympics.
my son used to go to Martin Luther until he went to Hawaii. But he's not in school. And I used to go over there and the lady who runs McWhite Funeral Home, is her name Miss, I don't know if her name is McWhite. We went on trips with the police officers there, and we had a good time and everything. And the kids enjoy themselves with the police officers. It's supposed to watch me. And boys and kids,
Okay, so we're getting some tea.
they could go out and do their own thing. While police officer, I don't know where he was, them playing in the room. I'm the room a mess. I walk into the room. I said, "Who's your what you call it? Your chaperone?" I said, it was a very nice police officer. He works for the Lord. I don't know if he's still working.
We're not calling no names, okay? We're not calling no names. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We're not calling no names.
And I went to that room. I said, "Who's all these clothes for? What is this? A garbage can?" I said, "Y'all better clean up." They like, "What the devil is it? This is from Jamaica." I said, "I don't care. Where you think I'm? You better clean up all them clothes."
Clean it all up. That's right.
Sometimes some of these women, they need to help with them kids. I called one this morning to come, right? She could not come because she had this little girl. But the girl, she can't sit still. As I see her, I said,
No, but we encourage them all the time.
she said, "How you know?" I said, "Because I work with them."
Yeah.
But she said the child is sick, that's why she.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I wanted to come so bad.
Okay.
The child took sick from last week. She didn't go to school.
Oh, sorry to hear that. But all right, I think Miss Rita's about to get ready with
grandma. Sometimes they may need to help to say, "Oh, they may want to go just hang with a friend or so." They need somebody to say, "Oh, can you watch my child for an hour, half an hour?"
Yeah. So we all need a little bit of respite. I think we're about we're almost at time.
Where I work with kids. When they have grandparents, I still leave for some of the kids. I say,
What it is, yes, we appreciate that. Yes.
They tell me that she used to be a grandparents come my hair is white.
Yeah, I said, I have braids too under here.
I said, yes, I know. Yes. And you look at me like,
all right.
Yes, I need, huh?
All right, all right, y'all. So we're about, thank you, Ms. Bella, for having this conversation with us. Y'all got a little bit more than y'all asked for because she was dropping names and giving us the scoop. All right, but we're about to start the program. So everybody have a good day. Thank you for hanging in there with us. I am going to switch devices, and so you guys can watch the program live, and then we'll come back afterwards and get feedback from the grandmas and what they thought about. We'll get feedback from the grandmas and what they thought about the presentation. So thank you so much, Ms. Belgium. Thank you so much. I appreciate the talk with you. Got a little bit more than I expected, but that is amazing.
I think she does steak stuffing too. No, she does steak.
Okay.
I think she does.
Okay then. All right.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank you. I'm going to switch the format up a little bit when we get back. I'm actually going to have the person sit right next to me because it'll be better. But as I said, I got to turn the camera off for a minute so I can set it up in order for us to be able to observe what it is that's going to be happening today, so you guys can take part in this conversation and give us some feedback on this PTO setup. Good morning, Carla Cody. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. And then, so Aretha's speaking, and I think y'all can hear her. I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to try to get y'all to listen in to the conversation that's happening. So let me turn the camera off and move it over in order for you guys to go and see what's going on. Thank you. See you in a bit.
Former PTO president. Thank you. We want to move forward with the presentation. We're going to come back to our vice chair a little bit more at the end so that you can get a little bit more information about how she feels about this initiative and the support that we can expect from the Broward County Public Schools to help our children get the best support system that they need to achieve this mission, right? Yes, that's right. So I don't think I can say anything else other than, again, my name is Lisa. I am with the state of Broward. You're here with the grandma. I'm here. All right? Yeah. But we also want to mention South Florida Hunger Coalition. They have been phenomenal in supporting our monthly brunches. They also help sponsor part of the activities here this morning. Thank you very much. So if you hear that name going around your community, South Florida Hunger Coalition, they are in the fight for food security. We want every child to have the option of choosing fresh, healthy foods every day. Amen? Yes. All right. And we are want to give Dr. Holmes I believe he just got back from Tallahassee, is that correct? So he fresh back from Tallahassee and still found time to be here this morning. He didn't tell me he was coming, but he told our vice chair, and that was good enough. The fact that he's here, let's give him another hand clap. At the same time, the vice chair, David Hickson, we are going to have these wonderful folks say some stuff at the end. They're going to be our great closers. And so because we don't want to rush you with your time, it's so important, we're going to let the presentations go first. And then we can come back and kind of reinforce what we said. Is that okay? Everybody's good with that. All right, Ms. Sharon, the floor is yours.
Hello there.
Sharon!
So my name is Sharon Kozlowski. We were really close. And I am the proud president of Broward County Council PTA and PTSA. We serve all of the units in our district. We have 110 PTAs in Broward County. Oh wait, I think that was last month. It's 114 this week. So we were from our board. I have Ms. Lavika Krishnaiyer here. She is a former Broward County PTA president and also a Florida PTA president. Chris Shaw is my first vice president. And Cantor is our vice president of leadership. He is that helps us with our meetings. So you see what our mission is here on board. Our mission is to make every child's potential reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. That is our purpose, that is our passion. When we talk about PTA, we are not just talking about fundraisers and bake sales. We are talking about making sure we have a seat, our folks, our parents, our communities have a seat at the table to influence decision makers.
Yeah.
PTA is no longer a noun, it is a verb. It is an action plan working to support your child's success. There is no wrong way to PTA. Whatever your PTA wants to accomplish is your mission, right? We are here to support your teachers, curriculum, advocate on issues that impact your child, and affect change at local, state, and national levels. I heard Dr. Holmes just was in Tallahassee. We're actually going to Tallahassee next week to lobby. So that is also part of what we do. We are here to build stronger, more diverse, and inclusive school communities. We know schools are the heart of every community, and PTA is there to help build connections, right? How to get community, teachers, parents, grandparents, grandmas involved into their schools. And really across the country, build their communities and create ties in fun, engaging, innovative ways. Why does your school need a PTA or a PTSA? It increases parental involvement. We know the data shows when parents are more involved in their children's education, they do better in school, they have higher graduation rates, higher literacy rates. We know it's better attendance. And volunteer support. PTAs help organize volunteers for events, help organize volunteers, and it doesn't even have to be for events, right? It's reading corners, it's literacy plans, it's helping a teacher do a project, right? We advocate and we influence. PTAs advocate for the needs and interests of students and families at their school, district, and even at the state level. Our board members here know that we are very actively involved in district committee meetings and policy making to make sure that our folks have a voice at that table. So we do that here in Broward. We go through Tallahassee, and with National PTA, we have our National PTA Legislative Conference where we speak with our legislators as well. So this is just as important to us, making sure that our kids get the supports, the curriculum, the food, the nutrition, the after-school care, all of the things they need to have healthy and productive childhood. PTA serve as a key channel of communication throughout the whole school, and also, like as we've been discussing, through to the district level, to the state level, right? So when we go to Tallahassee, there's 200,000 PTA members in Florida. So when we go to Tallahassee and say this is a need support, we have 200,000 voices behind us, right? Educational enrichment, PTA often organizes educational programs and workshops to support our schools and communities, and it also helps build a sense of community in the school, right? It's an organization where folks can come together and network, promotes the spirits and strengthen the school culture. And I feel like that is what your goals are here today, right? Is how to support our schools and build that strong culture that every kid matters and every voice matters. Mm-hmm. Oh, I broke it. If I touch something, it breaks.
Okay. That portion of the deposit.
There it is. So some of the benefits of PTA, we provide structure, we have preset bylaws, smooth, consistent operations. We have national, state, region, county support to help new units build and grow. We have tons of materials to make sure you stay on the straight and narrow, right? Are we following our tax compliances? Are we making sure we're in line with whatever the district rules are for community organizations, right? We provide training and assistance. And of course, as we've been saying, representation, we go, we delegate votes at the PTA convention. We also speak to decision makers all year round. And some more benefits of PTA. We are tax exempt status. Local PTAs fall under the umbrella of Florida PTA, so you don't have to file your own EIN. You don't have to file Sunshine or SunBiz Pass. You don't have to pay the federal government to get your nonprofit status built, right? Those are all things that are included with your PTA dues. We are not required to be incorporated with the state or register with the Florida Department of Agriculture. That is done under our Florida PTA umbrella. I will say that I know there was a little bit of interest with the community PTA. Then you would have to file with the Florida Department of Agriculture, but we have a whole state office that will help you do that so you don't forget. So that's kind of nice. So we do have dues that get paid, right, to Florida PTA. But those are the dues we pay $3.50 a member. That's what our dues are. So how much you charge for membership would be up to you, but it is $3.50 a member that goes up to our state PTA office. And what does that pay for, right? It pays for that support, like we said, at the state office. It pays for trainings, materials, traveling for people come or, how to do workshops and training, state office building. So we have a wealth of, and again, that is where we store all of this knowledge and have our training. So that's that. Here's your levels of support for our county council PTA. We're your first line. We were established in 1930. So we have been in Broward County for almost 100 years. And we started when we were first chartered, there was 4 schools chartered with under the Broward County Council PTA. And now we have 114, so we're very proud of that. We help you to effectively and legally work on behalf of the children in schools and communities. Florida PTA actually just had its 100th anniversary last year as a charter. We are a branch, Florida PTA is a branch of the National PTA that has over 4 million people, like-minded people working for the same goals. And this says we have 300,000 members in Florida, not 200,000, I apologize. But that is a powerful work. And National PTA is 125 years old. They actually were founded, we talked about our grandmas here today. National PTA started as a Congress of Mothers, working to reduce child labor, get food in schools, a full year, right, of school. Like, there's so many things. Yeah, so, and I'm laughing, there's our wealth of historical knowledge, I plead. But they provide, again, we do the lobbying, we do the representing. They come out with our policy and position statements that help us stay true to our mission and true to our cause. Where are we? We are everywhere. We serve 769,000 teachers across the country, 13.8 million students across the country. And this is a big thing here, right? Title I schools. A lot of people have this impression that PTA only does well, right, in a affluent school. And that is not the case. We are at almost more than half of our PTAs are in Title I schools, and they are thriving. They build strong community partnerships, right, to get resources into their schools. So I feel like that is an important number, right, that we want to represent everybody wherever you are, wherever your standing is. That is who we are here to serve. Okay. So where to start? You contact us at Broward County Council PTA. We will look to see if your schools had an EIN number before. If you have an established PTA, Florida PTA will bring that back, like reinstate your EIN number so you're not starting from scratch. So that is part of that contact there. You need to find parents and community folks, including your administration, that want to be a part of PTA. We hold an informational meeting. What's required, what the positions represent, what are your goals, and then we have an election. We'll host your meeting, we will run your election for you, and help you get it to compliance with the state and the IRS. And then we always work with our new PTAs to help them be established, to make sure that they're falling inside the scope of what Broward County Public Schools requires, the IRS, and Florida PTA. We have several free training events a year. We also do training events all the time for individual units. I'm actually in the middle of planning one for 4 units right now, so we can just get them all up and going together before we're in the school we did this week. And Florida PTA also has webinars once a week. On Wednesdays, there's a plethora of stored videos and content on Florida PTA and National PTA websites. And then you meet with your administration and you make your plan. What are your goals? What is the purpose of your PTA? If your purpose is family engagement, right, community engagement, how do we get there? What do we do? What kind of events do we need to do? How much money do we need to do them? There are a ton of things you can do that cost $0, right? You just need the support from your school. And that's it. Celebrate your success. We are very proud to be a part of this organization with this long storied history. And I was so excited when Ms. Hickson called me and asked me to be a part of this event, because my goal is always to help build community and our family engagement and make sure our children have the very best start they can. So that's it for me. Here's our contact information. There's some brochures in the back. And that's it. How do we do? You good? Yeah.
Now, Sharon's not gonna go away. She's gonna be here for a little Q&A session as well. So, get your questions together if you wanna know, a little bit more about the structure and how to actually start forms and paperwork, and if you have those technical questions, she can answer those things for you. But let's give her another round of applause. That mothers are the foundation or at the root of the PTAs. We kind of have confirmation we're going in the right direction. Now we're going to ask Ms. Mazer to come up, and she's going to share with us a little overview about PTOs. They have a little less structure, a little fewer government requirements, but we found that in some communities, they find that the PTO is a better option for them. So Ms. Rachel.
Hello, everybody. Hello. So you already know Mary, it's actually perfect that Sharon at first, and it's good that we're both here, because I think just even the difference in our presentation is going to give you an inkling of the difference between the PTA and a PTO or PTA. So the main difference as far as the words go is that a PTA or PTSA is part of the parent group of PTA. PTO is a generic term. It means parent teacher organization. In our case, our principal wanted also student associates, parent teacher student organization, PTSO. So that's the difference whether it has the S or the not. It's whether it's specifying student. Of course, we always want all of our community members to buy in. We want alumni, we want grandparents, we want parents, we want teachers, we want, friends of the school that are maybe raising students. So we always want to include everybody. But the semantics of PTA, PTO, PTSA, PTSO, that's what that means. PTO is generic. I don't know if there are any other generic names like that organizations use, but it just means that you're not affiliated with the parent organization. You're basically on your own. You're hyper-local. Like, there's all this great kind of lobbying capacity that comes with being part of a big organization like PTA that we don't have. We're like hyper-local to our school. We're essentially like a booster club. So we have all of the requirements of booster club has. We have to have a board. We have to have bookkeeping. We have to have bylaws. We don't have a parent organization to give us the bylaws, so we have to create our own bylaws. And we have to create our own mission statement. And we do have to have somebody responsible for doing the tax filing every year. We have to open a bank account. In my experience, so I founded the South Florida High School PTO, PTSO, 4 years ago. We are currently in our 5th year. And 4 years ago was also the 2019-2020 school year. And you guys remember what happened at the end of that school year? We went into shutdown for COVID. So we had a very interesting start. Like here we were trying to build this brand new organization. And almost right away we were in a whole new life for everybody in the world with COVID. So we have had a lot of growth and a lot of change over these first 4 years. This is our 5th year, like I said, and my younger child will be graduating. So sort of the plus and the minus that we have our PTSO is that we are a lone organization in our school, and we're about to undergo a big transition where, you know, the last founding member is going to be leaving, and we've been working to bring in new people. And so when you do have the PTO, there is a certain amount of simplicity to it. It's very, very basic and very, very simple. Like in my opinion, having co-founded the organization, I always said we definitely have to have a president, and we definitely have to have a treasurer. Everything else is gravy. It's great to have the other roles. We have to have monthly or regular meetings in order to be, you know, I think compliant with having an organization. But the main thing is the president and the treasurer. So far, obviously things have been going great, and we've had wonderful people. But I have come from a school, the place where my kids went to middle school, where we had a situation that the person, we had this new parent come in, she was so positive and helpful. She very quickly became president, and somehow the treasurer was not very involved, and so she was also doing the books. There was no oversight. Yeah, and she embezzled, I think in the end, they were able to prove was something like $60,000. Now, obviously, this was a school, there was a lot of money. At South Broward, our budget's like $10,000, you can embezzle $60,000, you don't have it. So, the thing is that when things are going well, PTSO is great. We're able to handle it, we're a bunch of people that have been very invested in our community for a long time. The school trusted us, the principal asked us to start the group, no problem. When you have a situation where there is a problem, we don't have the parent body, like PTA, to support you, you know, and that is something to consider. On the other hand, we charge $10 for dues, and all of that money goes right back into our school. We don't have to pay any other kind of parent association. We don't, you know, it's pretty relaxed as far as we try to always comply, of course, with Broward County. We work very closely with our principal. The principal has oversight and sense with us. We don't make decisions without their approval. Everything that we do works very closely with our school administration. But aside from that, that's it. It's like super simple. So when it's going well, if you have people that understand the very basics of starting a business, it works out great. And now that it's up and running, the new people just have to kind of step in and get trained on the very simple things that we do. And even as far as much as we've grown, we know that each year, everything that happens in your school is dependent on the specific people in your administration and in your PTA or PTO board. It's what they're willing to do, how much time they can spend, what they can give to the job. So it always changes in every school, in any school, whether it's PTA or PTO, it's going to change with the people. And so in our case, these past 5 years, PTO has been a perfect fit. Whether moving forward, they would someday decide to join PTA, I don't know, they could, they just have to rebrand. And I don't think PTA is a brand, we have to be very careful never to refer to ourselves as PTA because we're not. That's like if you're wearing, you know, some generic, and then you're like, this is actually Gucci. Well, it's not. That's the thing, we have to be careful not to impede on her because we're not, you know, affiliated, following the rules, and so that's, you know, one thing, but it's very, very basic. I want to give you our Gmail address. If anyone is looking to start a PTO and has questions about it, or if you start a PTO, it doesn't really matter to me. If you want to reach me or anyone in our board and ask questions, we recently spoke with Holly Hills High School. They're trying to get back up and running. It's very difficult if you have the organization, and from spring to fall, you don't have people identified to take over, and it has to kind of lapse and then rebuild it. So they were in contact with me about how to review the organization. I'm happy to answer questions. Most of the top people on our board check the Gmail very regularly, and it's super simple. It's PTSO@Gmail. So it's basically parent teacher student organization, Southward High School at Gmail. Happy to answer questions, anything from getting your organization up and running as a PTO to like what fundraising has worked for us. Like we designed the first few months this t-shirt, and this is our main fundraiser. We sell this t-shirt. It's the only like school-wide spirit shirt we have, and we bring in thousands of dollars every year just selling it. So anyway, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Rachel Mazer. It's PTSO@Gmail. We're happy to help you guys, and just the fact you're here today is the first step. Thank you.
All right, grandma, how y'all doing? I'm great, I am wonderful and excited and just overjoyed with the information that we received today, so we can move forward to creating a plan to get these PTAs or PTOs up and running. Now, we are so fortunate to have our school board elected member for District 5. How many of you know what district you're in? How many of you know what school board district you're in? Okay. So how many of you are familiar with District 5? Okay, good. We're hoping by the end of today, you'll be more familiar with District 5. Because we need, in my opinion, an all hands on deck approach, so that we can actually reverse some of these issues that are unique to District 5, that are unique to our children, and where they have some of the greatest needs to reverse the learning gap, as well as the resources related to infrastructure and fair and equitable education. So we're asking that you just kind of tune in and keep District 5 at the back of your mind. It is not a mandate or a requirement. It is simply my request. And without further ado, it is our privilege to have our elected school board member, Dr. Jeff Holmes, here with us this morning. And as he comes over to give some input, encouragement, possibly he can speak maybe to the learning gaps and some of the things that forming a PTA or PTO, how it can help assist you at the board level. How can it assist helping get some of those resources that maybe the principals struggle to get attention from the district to make happen? How can we become a part of the process to move it forward? So again, let's give our school board elected member for District 5, Dr. Holmes.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Aretha. Yes, I was in Tallahassee for a week with a lot of wonderful kids. We had actually students from District 5 as well, from Plantation High School, as well as we had some students from Dillard as well. So just want to introduce myself really quick. I am Jeff Holmes. I am your school board member for District 5. And I am a graduate of Dillard High School. I was born in the Caribbean, Jamaica specifically, and I came to the United States and attended Dillard, and Dillard laid a strong foundation for me to be successful. My sister also attended Parkway Middle School, graduated from Parkway, and then went on to Dillard High School and graduated from Dillard. In addition to that, I went back and I taught at Dillard Community School for some time, as well as Parkway Community School, and then I went ahead and taught for 15 years at the middle school level. But what I can tell you is this: what I have observed, and even as a teacher in Broad County Schools, as a past teacher, is that schools are generally very successful with strong PTAs. If the PTA is strong, it indicates strong support for our students, strong support for our staff, and it generally translates into a much stronger student learning outcome. So this is an important topic today, and I am so happy to see all of you turn out, because it's important that as a district, and District 5 tends to struggle with not only attendance for some of our schools from PTAs, but also some schools do not have PTAs. So I appreciate you coming out today because and getting this information, and I hope we have some pioneers in our audience that will take the lead on this and will initiate the process to start PTA. So I'd like to first acknowledge my committee board member, Debbie Dixon, and give her a round of applause. I want to tell you, Debbie is such an asset on the school board. We've worked together on many of the issues, and Debbie and I have spoken at length about PTAs in District 5 and also district-wide. In addition to that, I'd just like to thank Ms. Paslowski for your efforts. I appreciate that as well, and give a round of applause that she has been very efforts. And I will miss if I did not recognize Ms. Mazur. And I would say both PTSO and PTSA are important. I don't know if I will do the Gucci exam, but I think they're both important and serve different purposes. Now, I have to tell you, District 5, having strong PTAs will result in much stronger student learning outcome. And although we look at our previous past data and we made some strides, for example, North Fork went from an F school to currently is now a C school. So, in addition to that, we have Endeavor in Lauderdale went from F to a B school. And we have many more examples of schools in District 5 that have improved on the past testing for last year. We have Lauderdale 6 through 12 actually is now E school and C school as well. That went from a C, from an E to a C school. So we are making improvements. There is still a lot more we can do, and I can tell you this, one of the ways we can do this is to form strong PTAs. And I know that the challenge can be great. We do have a lot of our parents who are very busy with working and so on. But this is really important, not just for your children, but it is important for the community, for the community to do well overall, and for us to have this generational success. So I am encouraging all of you today, if you could really take on the task of really putting together a PTA with support of the district. I am here as a District 5 board member as well, and will strongly support this. In fact, I have visited every single school in District 5, and there's approximately 36 schools in District 5, and I have spent at least an hour and a half at each school. And during my discussions with the principal, forming PTAs and parent attendance into our PTAs is a part of our discussion. But we can't do it alone. We do need the support of the community as well. So I would encourage you to please take this, take the lead on this, and be sure that if you need support from my office, I have my business card as well, I can give that to you, and we will work together to make sure that every single school in District 5 has a PTA. Thank you very much.
We've shared a lot of information. You all feel like this is worth your Saturday morning? Yes. Amen. So before Dr. Holmes runs off, and because we've had so much information, can we just pause for a moment just to see if you have any questions that you've had in the back of your mind since Ms. Sharon started speaking, as well as with Ms. Rachel, that you've been kind of holding. Is that okay, Dr. Holmes?
That is perfectly fine. If you need one of my business cards, we have it here as well. So you can always email my office. And if you have interest in really starting PTA, please email us. We'll put you in contact with Ms. Paslowski and get the process going.
So I know, Dr. Holmes, if you would you share with us here in this immediate area, whether or not the PTAs are flourishing over here? Because we got some data that shows in this immediate geographic area of District 5, more on the east side, do we have those PTA and PTO support that you mentioned?
Well, what I would say is District 5, especially in specific areas like the east side, struggles with PTAs in terms of attendance as well as in terms of the number of students with PTAs. So that's why a meeting like this is really important, because the bottom line is when schools have PTAs and strong attendance in PTAs, those schools do better, not just in student learning outcome, but in terms of support for the schools, in terms of the cohesiveness of the schools, in terms of parents and teacher relationships and so on. So it is really important, and like I said, the data that we have for the private fast testing is showing great improvement in some of our schools in District 5, but we could actually capitalize on that a lot more with forming strong PTAs. So District 5 needs, it struggles with PTAs in this area, and I am encouraging parents to let's come together and try to ensure that we have strong PTAs, because this will not only benefit children currently, but it will be a generational success for our future generation in this area.
Is any questions from anything that you've had so far? Grandmas, you know we meet monthly, we're having an opportunity to debrief, but anyone that has any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, 1 second, give me a second, I can give you a mic. This is your reputation, no. There you go, love, say your name for us.
Hi, my name is Dana Jones. I'm a parent volunteer, yes, locally. Mrs. Hodge and myself, we've been trying to organize either a PTO or a PTA. As things that we ran into is when we go to the school to try and get volunteers or to go into the community to get any type of, what is it, like, support, we're given like a daily badge or something that it's just like as if we're there for the day. Is there any type of thing that we can get through the Broward County School Board that just makes us look more official? Because we haven't been doing this for years.
Okay, so when you do visit the school, like the elementary, you're speaking specifically about, you get a badge, I'm just trying to get clarity now.
Well, we go out in the community and we ask like, we're gonna be for like the monthly PTO meetings, we're asking for, you know, like, Krispy Kreme donation, or we're going to like Costco and asking, you know, hey, can you support us? And we have like a daily thing, it's like.
Yeah,
like a
keep it
printout,
in
no, not a piece of paper, like a signature. Yeah, like it's not scanned in. Right.
Yeah, so you're looking for something more permanent that you can continually use or whatever. That's something we can look into. What I would encourage you to do is this. Did you get one of my cards?
Yes.
Okay. Please email my office with the concern, and we're gonna look into that and see if we can provide something more permanent for you to be able to go into different communities or partners. That way you don't have to keep changing that over and over. I will let me respond to it.
Just because I was part of the PTSO and my son volunteered, you can actually ask the school if they'll, the same kind of ID cards that they give to the students. The school should be able to do that, and it will say volunteer, or Sharon, maybe there's a way for, if you're a PTA, that they make you a name badge or something that you would be able to take with you. But at the start, it looks like maybe you asked the school, because I see you shaking your head. But I know at South Broward, they made volunteer badges for the volunteers, so that
You wouldn't be able to check in with those because everything's after now, but they should be able to make you just an ID card.
At No Way Foreman, we did that, but we had to work with a photographer that whenever they came in and did the pictures at the beginning of the year, we had our photos taken as sorry, thank you for that. So as the PTA staff of the school, or officers, pardon me, we worked with the photographer, had our pictures taken with the students, yes, we had school pictures, but then they made those name tags, so when they came in, the principal just gave them to us, so that when we were out and about, people knew that we weren't like right up the street, you know what I mean?
Right.
And to speak to that as well, I mean, you need PTA, PTO, whatever it's gonna be, your EIN number, right? Because that's when I go to, places, as Broward PTA, or I'm also, Deerfield Beach Middle School PTA. I have my certificate that says, right, that is part of being an established organization. You can't just, right, you have to have, to get an EIN number, you have to register it, you have to do all of those things. So that is something, as you build an organization, those are like first steps, right? You need an EIN, you need a, if you're gonna go for nonprofit status, you file that with the federal government, like all those kinds of things. But PTA, when you do that, it's part of our umbrella. So it's, you would have that, here's my letter, here's my documentation, I'm real, right?
And just, again, that, initially, for the purpose of this meeting and this initiative, Save Broward and the Grandma How You Doing initiative, we're also going to connect and support those types of efforts. So if you need that administrative support, that executive management, project management support, we're here to help you do that. Because we know that beautiful Sharon also wears like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other hats. So if you may not be able to get her to do that, that's part of what we're doing here. So that as a community, we can support each other no matter what school you're trying to get that PTA going.
This is for the board members. Little district, we did used to have those permanent badges, after we went through all of the fingerprinting and all of that. But that stopped about 3-4 years ago. So,
When they switched
remember
back,
that? Yeah, we used to have the permanent badges for the year, or for 2 weeks, like, for the examination date. But, local union, volunteers started to, as well as council volunteers.
And I think it's the first school, like at South Broward, it was just a card that said volunteer, because my son would volunteer on Fridays. And so it didn't necessarily have a fancy picture on it, it was a volunteer badge, but, you know, I think you could work with the schools, Rachel.
I'm behind you, so I'm like, I'm behind you, but basically,
So with the PTO, what we do is we have a donation request. So what you could probably do is ask the school to make you a letter on letterhead that says your vendor.
They told us, we add to that for sure.
Yeah.
And they told us no.
Maybe that was
Well, that's another
right.
conversation.
When you heard that, you don't know what happened.
Yeah, so we're kind of yeah.
So hopefully you guys can overcome that one way or another. But the letter for us was very effective. No one ever questioned it. People usually didn't ask for it, so we already said yes. And like, when you come to pick up, please bring the letter. So we have it for our files, and that they'll want. The gentleman saying that the EIN number, but if you don't have the organization set up, then usually you can use the schools. Yeah.
Now, part of being a part of this initiative here today and staying connected with us is, again, we're going to support that and work in collaboration with Dr. Holden's office, as well as Vice Chair Hickson's office, and with Sharon with the PTA, or if you choose to do the PTO. So you'll have that support. Please don't feel intimidated by anything that you hear. That's why we're here. We're here to discuss what barriers you all have experienced and how we can remove them effectively together. So we have phenomenal support in knowing that we have board members who understand what the initiative, who are right behind us. So those types of barriers, I imagine that it'll be a lot easier for us to overcome them instead of trying to, get that credibility on your own, because security is important. We can't just let folks who say they want to do stuff have complete access, or use, our human capital and our time, and we're not really sure if they're fully invested. So now with the support of board members behind us, that will give us more credibility, and it will make it easier for the school to accept our interest and our participation. Does anybody disagree with that?
And I agree with that. I just want to mention as well that, whenever you run into any kind of issues, and in this particular case, it's an issue of having a more permanent badge as opposed to a temporary one, don't feel like you hit a roadblock. You can always email me, you can email Debbie. You can add our board member, I'm the board member for District 5, and we will look into the issue and make sure it's resolved, because I am sure that this may be specific to Dillard Elementary, but I'm sure that there are other parents that have similar issues in other schools as well. So we want to make sure that you have the right tools to get it done, and the right resources, and run into any kind of roadblock in the future. This applies to everyone. Email your board member, because we want to know. And sometimes we can't be everywhere. I try to be as many places as possible, and so does Debbie. But sometimes we don't know unless you email us, this week I spent the entire week in Tallahassee. I rushed over here from Sunrise because I was going to lead meetings for the City Hall opening, and so we have, sometimes we miss things. But just email us because that will bring our attention to it and we can get on it for you. Okay?
And then there's power in numbers. So the more that we work collaboratively as a community PTA to move these things forward, I think the more successful we'll have in getting each school set up. Because we're working to support each other until everybody's functioning fully and effectively. So do we have any other questions? Any questions from our grandmas? Any comments or feedback? I know Dr. Holness has a time constraint. So before he has to scoot out, does anybody have any comment or concern before he leaves? Because I don't want you to feel like he was running out before you had a chance to say what you need to say. Okay, wonderful. So I think we're all hearts and minds are clear as far as that's concerned. We still have more stuff to discuss. We're not cutting it off. I'm going to go up and hand the mic to Chris. But as I walk, I'm glad to hear Dr. Holmes make that statement because I had a very similar situation at Walker Elementary. And that's why I know the need is real because I went to join the PTO only to find out I will be the first member and think, what do I want to do? I came to join the PTO. So in our schools over on the east side of District 5, we're finding where the kids may need, in my opinion, because this is where my heart, my passion, my background, where I grew up, I have more information that where our kids need more support. Our kids have more challenges. Social challenges. They deal with more social determinants. They deal with more inequities. They deal with more discrimination. They deal with more discipline disparities. They deal with more health disparities. So it only makes sense that we do an all hands approach and get these kids where they need to be because there's nothing, how should I say, less than about our children. And what they need is just a greater support network. They need great community advocacy. Parents, I'm going to say this to Dr. Holmes as well as to Vice Chair Hickson. There are parents who are trying to connect and get answers. As you see, there are grandmothers here who want to be more involved, but they're finding these roadblocks, and oftentimes because of the stresses in life, they don't have time to continue revisiting it and revisiting it and revisiting it. So something else takes priority, and then you don't end up moving forward with that next step. But with your support and your commitment, I am convinced that in 2024, we will have an active, flourishing, vibrant community PTA, as well as functioning active PTAs or PTOs on the east side, where our children really need the most support to have the best academic journeys they can have. So I'm gonna, Chris had his hand up. Did I miss any other hand? Did any other hand go up that I missed? Now, since we have nothing else, we're after Chris says what he has to say, we're going to get the attention of the wonderful person who is very instrumental in us having use of this beautiful space today.
Thanks, Rita. So I just wanted to say two things for us to remember. That PTA's mission is to ensure that we are advocating for all children, all families, right? That is part of who we are in our fabric. And so as you're thinking that through, that means that when your PTA is operating, as Sharon was alluding to, there is no one way to operate a PTA that has to work, right? So in some schools where we have families who both parents don't have to work, we may have a very active during the day PTA, the parents can go to day meetings. That does not mean in communities where we have working parents. Part of my children, by the way, have made this their own little area, but this is what you do when you're a PTA leader. But I wanted to say, you can always use those digital formats, meeting out at community places, right? It does not have to be between 8 and 2 that you're doing the work. There's all kinds of stuff that can be done, and it's all about making what will work for your PTA, your community. So don't, please, I just say this in a very encouraging way, don't get trapped in the mindset of what other people are doing. Make it your own. That's the whole point of PTA, so that we're advocating for every single student and family.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that is definitely one of the, best assets that we can have out of a PTA or PTO is you don't have to go in, saying that there's this oversight governance that you gotta fall in line with what's pre-existing and all this rigid, structure that you gotta, adhere to or, come in line with. You have the unique opportunity to make it whatever you want. And that includes cultural relevance, that includes social networking, that includes history information and instruction and appreciation, that includes just giving our kids the foundations that you believe are important and significant. And then we can also use our skills, our assets, the things that we're already good at to fundraise around those things. Like Rachel pointed out, they have this beautiful t-shirt that they have. Hey, listen, I make a good cake. And if I don't, my children, they are. So they really good at y'all. So I said that to say those are things that we love. Some of us love to make. We have bake sales. Some of us love some of the old traditional ways of fundraising. It comes natural to us. So there's no reason to have those skills dormant and not actively producing additional resources for our kids. Let's utilize those skill sets. Let's go back and remember those things that work and use them.
And very quick, so I just also want to, speak in terms of what Ms. Wimberly mentioned as well, that sometimes you run into roadblocks, and when you do, because of all the things that are going on in our lives, you kind of just eventually forget it. But it's really important when you run into roadblocks at the school level, email us because we have to take the next step to make sure it's resolved. Because sometimes we don't know. So don't feel like you don't have an option. You do have an option. Once we become aware of the concern, Debbie and I and the other school board members will take it to the next level to make sure it's resolved. So before I leave, I always kind of like, it's important that as a community, we realize that it's not just us as board members, we are a community, and all of us need to be involved in making things happen, right? So I'm gonna ask you if you could repeat after me, because this is a part of our commitment, and it's not just commitment from Debbie and myself, but it's commitment from the entire community. So I want you to repeat after me, everyone, including Ms. Elsie, that I am committed to have PTAs, or PTOs, in all schools, in District 5, and District 1. Second commitment, I am committed to ensure that we have great attendance at our current PTAs or PTOs in District 5 and District 1. And we will work with you to make sure that happens.
And Dr. Hollis will work with us to make sure that happens. Thank you again, thank you so much. We do know that it was a stretch of your time. Thank you for coming, and the only rush is you. You're happy to stay around as long as you like. Now, we had so many compliments about this space, about this room. Everybody's like, to quote Chris, this is fire. This setup is fire. This is amazing. This is gorgeous. This is a beautiful space. I want to tell you all, when Save Broward, my daughter Chanel, reached out and asked for a space here. This is one of your beautiful PTA board members who brought it out. So hard across the district. You want to say something before you head out?
Just remind everyone, if you decide to be a PTA, you have the resources of not just the four of us in the room, but a complete board who will show up for you, show up at your meeting. Actually, I love this space, I'll be back. And whatever it is you need, we will show up for you and assist you.
Thank you. So again, loving this space. Now, there's a person who's responsible for the programming here at the African American Research Library and Cultural Center. And I was saying, when we reached out and expressed interest in having a room to conduct this meeting, I want to tell you there was absolutely no hesitation. There was absolutely no stress, no pressure, no anything. And when I walked into the space, I was just like, wow. And it had nothing to do with us all, to do with the library deciding that this was significant enough to assign us this beautiful space. And I'm going to let the wonderful man who's responsible for making sure community organizations and initiatives like Grandma, how you doing? That we have spaces like this to come and meet and strategize for our children. Woo.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Grandma.
First name, last name, phone number, email address, hashtag, all that to stay with us.
There you go. Please. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. And first, before I introduce myself, give yourselves a round of applause, please. Get your shoulders off. And James Brown just said, jump back and kiss yourself. I am excited to have you here. I am inspired to see this happening. This is the perfect way to start my day. Last night, I was home nursing this cold and watching Rustin on Netflix. Have y'all seen it? Make some noise if you saw Rustin. That's not enough noise, so the rest of you need to see Rustin. So Rustin, if you don't know, it's the movie about Bayard Rustin, the architect behind the March on Washington of 1963. And Netflix does a great job of telling his story. And he's an unsung hero because he was an outwardly gay individual, black man back in the 60s, which even now in the 2020 is still an issue. And so he got sidelined. But the March on Washington wouldn't have been what it was, wouldn't have made the history it made if that man hadn't done what he did. He was a masterful organizer. And watching it, I'm a student of the Civil Rights Movement. And so this takes me back to those eras that I read about in college at Howard University, where it is the unsung heroes, HU, it is the unsung heroes in the community, it is the mamas and the grandmamas in them that make those movies. When you watch that movie, yes, there's the stars Bayard and King and Wilkins and all those folks, but it is those young students, it is the mamas, it is the workers that made that happen. 250,000 people showed up on the Mall of Washington because these meetings happen all over the country. This is how, and this is real. Because when the library, especially Bell Hooks, the late great Bell Hooks, has a book called Feminism is for Everybody. And my oldest daughter was on her way to Spelman, and her summer reading book was one of her summer reading books that she didn't read. I soaked it up. And Bell said something in that book that reminds me of this, what's happening right here. She says, every movement in history happens with a consciousness-raising conversation in somebody's living room, somebody's porch, somebody's backyard, somebody's church basement, somebody's library. And the folks from that community come together and they articulate what the challenges are, what the aspirations are, and what the action plans are to make this a reality. And you all are living that. This is where the movement starts. This is how it starts. So it is my delight to have you in this space for you to come here. And I'm telling you now, make yourselves at home. I'm sorry that you didn't know about this place because this place has been here. This African American Research Library and Cultural Center has been here for 21 years. 21 years. And so it's been one of the best kept secrets on this block, on this boulevard. So let's change that for the better. So Sam Morrison, you see his animatronic out there, had the great vision to found this space and to make it a state-of-the-art space 21 years ago. And we continue to upgrade it so that it stays a state-of-the-art space for the community. And I love to tell folks, we're not here to make money. We're here to serve you. So if you have another nonprofit, you have another community group, or you have a commercial for-profit group that needs a meeting space, that would like to see a gallery exhibit. Next door is our gallery. The next exhibit is an African mask exhibit that goes up at the end of February. If you want to put on a show tonight across the hall, there's a for-profit group called Live in Color doing a superhero dance show called Attack on Funk City. And they want me to let you know that they almost sold out, but they want me to let you know that your children 16 and under can come for $10, for only $10 at the door. $25 for grown folks, but $10 for babies. And on behalf of the Broward County Commissioners, on behalf of the Broward County Library Division, and our Library Director, Allison Grubbs, and our Regional Branch Manager, Dr. Tina Hobbs, I welcome you to the African American Research Library and Cultural Center, AKA ARLA. When I started, I wanted to say, y'all have inspired me so much. There's so many things that are important that need to be said. So when I first started in just in May, we have this great campaign called I Read Banned Books. So how many of you have a library card, a Broward County library card? I love that. So that's almost 100%. So you got a Broward County library card. Before you leave today, the way that you say thank you is you go upstairs and you check out the book. You read that book. And you really appreciate us doing. And again, it ain't just me, it's a team. That's Kurt Pascal over there, he's our AV specialist. Make sure we're heard and sitting with us. That's James Kennedy, our admin over there. We process all the paperwork to make it happen. And so I call it unsexy necessary. So it ain't the fun stuff, but it's the necessary stuff that we gotta get done. So again, go check out the library card. I'm gonna let you know the secret. Not the greatest secret. There are 36 libraries in this county system. We're one of 36. This library has the lowest circulation numbers. It's just a pandemic. So I'm on a huge campaign. Everywhere I go, everywhere I call, let folks know. You believe in this, you believe in what we're doing, you like the space, you have to go upstairs, check out a book. Read that book. You can send it back to us by any library in your neighborhood that's in Broward County. Tell more folks to come here, get their library cards. You go upstairs, it's a very cool library card, it's all red, full of flames, and say, I read banned books. You are banned book sanctuary. Louis Farrakhan, the great infamous Louis Farrakhan in 1981, the Phil Donahue show, said something I'll never forget. When I was a kid, he said the most powerful thing, the most powerful tool a black person can have in the United States is a library card. It is free knowledge, it is free information. We are a house of knowledge, and it is free 99. Make yourself at home.
All right, let's do this some more, right? Go, let's do it. So, you all heard that, right? Yes. $3.99.
I'm gonna be at the door checking for your book when you leave today.
All right.
Please grab my card if you have other meetings you want to have here.
Wonderful. So, you see grandmas, look what you all have done. Look what you all have done. Y'all give yourselves another round. Give our grandmas a standing ovation. Grandma, this is what you all have done. Look at what you all have done. Not only have we connected with influential decision makers on our school system, not only have we learned how to get a PTA or PTO started, not only have we connected with phenomenal community resources like the Title I program and the FACE program, where your children can get free books. Even right now, if you know someone in your neighborhood whose children can benefit for a free book while we're here, tell them come on up here to get one of these beautiful free books. But not only that, we've opened the door of opportunity to have a community partner in the African American Research Library and Cultural Center. You do know that this is not something that happens in every city across the country. Right. This is one of three, I think it is. I think it's either one of, am I saying that right? One of two or three. There aren't that many. And we connected our community nonprofits and organizations to a potential meeting spot so that it's open and it's equitable and we have access to a beautiful space like this for our PTA and our Grandma High PTA initiatives. So thank you all so much for everything that you've done. If there are no more questions, and we also are going to have our Vice Chair, Debbie Hickson, say some few final words if there are no more questions. We also have Sandra Sheffer. You ready, Sandra? We have Sandra available also for you to do some community interviews. Now, why is that important? Because we need to hear from you. We need you all to tell our community how impactful this was for you today. Why we are committed to staying in this fight and this plan of action for our children, and some of the barriers and some of the additional resources, things that you really think this will help address. Because there is no reason, there is absolutely no reason for our children who are over here on the east side and some of these schools that have been having the same barriers, seeing the same challenges, decades long now. There's no reason why we can't do more to fix that. And I know if you're like me as a parent or a grandma, sometimes folks just don't recognize you as an individual. So this is why we're coming together and using the influence of a PTA or a PTO to get some of the things done we want to help improve our children's academic journeys. And you all made it happen. You all made it happen. So we thank you all so much. If there are no more questions, I'm going to hand for the closing out to our very own esteemed chair, vice chair of the Broward County Public School Board, who made sure that we had representation from Title I, from FACE. She was also the conduit to Dr. Holmes, and we just thank her so much for the support she's thrown behind this initiative. This is just step one. Now, imagine how much more, how much greater it's gonna be. I hope y'all got your seatbelts on. Because we on a wild ride in 2024, baby. We got some stuff we gonna do. And also, Debbie, just give me one more. I need to recognize my children. One of them is upstairs at the library. But Grandma, how are you doing? Could not be as successful as it is if it had not been for my children, who have listened to me fuss, demand, request. She has my daughter, is Janella Smith. We're both graduates of Broward County Public School System. And we've both been on both ends of the, how should I say, the challenges. Sometimes we were the challenge. And sometimes we had to rise up and meet the challenge. And I have my grandchildren also. They're so supportive of everything that we do with State Broward. They help grandma, and y'all give my kids a hand. They are my caregivers, they are the staff team, they are all the things that we need to be for a young nonprofit. So we want to thank you. We want to also give special recognition to Grandma Rosalie. She's been a shower Grandma Rosalie Allen called me up and said, Aretha, we're supposed to circle back to this education initiative about our kids. We need to make sure that happens. Yeah. And so, because of her, she keeps me on task, as well as our other grandmas. They make sure that we do what we're supposed to be doing. And more importantly, they show up. Yeah. They don't just call and tell me their complaints. They don't call and say the things that everyone else is not doing. They tell me what they would like to do, what they want to do, and then we move forward to make it happen. So don't forget, Sandra Chef Freire is in the back to take your community interview. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to help us create a volunteer recruitment platform, for us to create a community outreach and education platform in your words. People hearing from you as the community, it goes a lot further than us trying to speak for you. Amen? Amen. Amen. So with that, our closer, Vice President.
Stay here and keep it casual. I just want to say thank you so much for coming. Aretha had reached out to me to ask me if I wanted to come to a Grandma How You Doing meeting, and I'm a new grandma, so I was like, absolutely. And this came about from an organic conversation that we were having, was about education and what could they do as grandmas, as community members, to engage more with the students. There were things they felt the schools were missing or things that they wanted to be more aware of and they were not. So in that conversation, I said, well, let me reach out to Sharon through PTA, and then Aretha had mentioned PTSO, and I was part of her PTO, I was part of the PTSO in South Broward, and I knew Rachel, I reached out to the district, Wanda said yes immediately, Title I said yes, so thank you for that conversation that we were having as grandmas to say, we want to have a better impact and a better voice in what's happening in our schools. Look at all the people that came together out of a simple conversation. So those conversations, they need to continue happening. As Dr. Holmes mentioned, he is your district-wide school board member, but I'd like to share with everyone, you have 3 school board members. You have 2 countywide, I happen to be one, and Dr. Seaman is the 2nd countywide member. And then you have Dr. Holmes. So whenever you have a concern, don't just share it with one person. You need to really reach out to all 3 of us, because as Dr. Holmes was mentioning, we can echo, like he can't call me and say, hey, there's an issue with Dillard because of the sunshine laws that we have. It's something we might vote on. So it's really important. You know that you have 3 resources that you should be reaching out to all of us so we can echo those concerns to make sure that we're really looking at what the concern is and how do we work together as a community to be able to fix that. Because we are in this together. All of our children are enough. They have to feel enough. They have to hear that they're enough, not just from you, not just from me, but from places like being invited into the African American library that's here, and sitting in a space like this on a Saturday morning where we can come into where it's important to them, to you, to the community, and have a conversation on how do we move things forward, because we're all worth it. Every single student is worth it. That is the mantra right now of the superintendent. Everyone counts. And we need to do that together. It's real easy to complain about what's not happening, but we have to be part of that change together. It doesn't matter what we look like, it doesn't matter where we come from. We have to have those conversations. It was important that she reached out and I said, sure, I'll come. I didn't know what I was walking into, but I'm a grandma. And I was like, yeah, let's see what this is about. And it was just such an amazing experience to be there and just hear everybody has similar concerns. Everybody has similar issues. But oftentimes we think, well, we don't look alike, so you can't understand what I'm going through. There are different pieces of that, but there are things we can each say we understand, and then working together, put together a plan to bring us to a higher level. And that's really what I think is happening here today. PTA, PTSO, we have the reading, we have Title I, Family Central, the library stepped up and offered all of this stuff. So I hope it continues. I know that you probably had a discussion before I got here. I was becoming a new godmother today, so I had a baptism before I got here. But it's important that we continue to have these conversations, and maybe it's too much to start off with a PTA or a PTSO in every school. So maybe we look at what does it look like as a District 5 PTA or PTSO, where all of you that maybe feel that you're having stumbling blocks come together and start a community going, where then once you're solid and you figure out how it's moving forward and what to do, then you can start branching out into those schools. So you don't have to take, eat the whole apple at once. You take bites of that apple at a time, figure out how good it tastes and how much you like to share and grow apple trees other places, right? And do that. So, I don't want you to feel like we can't get it done, because that's what happens. We hit those stumbling blocks and life happens and we say, we'll come back to that later. But why not listen to everyone else who's hit similar stumbling blocks and say, how do we do this together for our kids? And then we grow from there. So I just wanted to throw that out as maybe an option of where we start from here. Continue to have the discussions. We have two wonderful ladies sitting right there that are definitely ready to start a PTA somehow, or PTSO, so maybe we join them and we figure out how we grow from there. But this is really important to have these conversations and to continue bringing people together. So we have 15, 20 people this time, and you'll go out and you'll say, this was such an amazing opportunity. We got books when we went home, we found out different resources. Title I also has a fantastic bus.
Yeah.
To be able to have a different event, maybe at a school, maybe it's when we open a meeting in PTA, and that's the first meeting we have, is to have the bus and start sharing those resources that we have. There are amazing things happening in District 5 and across the county, but until we share it with each other and provide an opportunity to make sure people know what's happening, we don't really know what's available. So I threw a lot of things out there at one time, but I hope this isn't the end of the conversation. I hope it's just the beginning. Really proud to have been part of just saying, yeah, let's do it. Let's see how we make it work. And thank you so much to everybody who said yes when we reached out and asked for, could you come and help us today? So thank you again so much for coming today.
Share just a little bit of information about how Family Central can also help us accomplish some of the goals that we want to accomplish with our kids.
And I heard a lot of great things today. The beautiful partnership with Carol Hudson, of the City of Sunrise Education Advisory Board. I'm a mentor at Board Anderson. I spread my wings to take you as far. I'm a grandmother out of Detroit, Michigan, via New York. You all are beautiful grandmothers, beautiful leaders. I'm here to tell you about Family Central, our beautiful facilitators, Aretha and Sandra. They are recent graduates of Parent Leadership Training. It's a national organization that has come to Broward County, powerful, who teaches you civic engagement tools. We all come to the table with various knowledge, and this is a 20-week. They took their time. They were already leaders, already brilliant leaders, but they wanted to acquire the tools that would make them greater. And I tell them, the seed was already there, so if you're interested, we'll have a cohort coming up. It's free. The only thing you have to do is invest your time. And we will lead you through virtually a couple of in-person sessions. It's because of them that I'm here today. I believe in them. I believe in every grandmother in this room. The other thing that I just like to add, you don't have to have these explicit computer skills. I mean, sometimes my grandchildren leave me, they'll blow me out. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I'm sure the PTAs and PTOs will help you with your computer skills if you don't know how to do Zoom calls or all those kind of things. That technology, I'm sure your grandson can come up with things you have to ask them how I do that. You have to support your, so it's generations working together to share information and to make each generation stronger. We can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this. Without a doubt, it's not if, it's when, and when is now.
It is right now.
Now, not tomorrow. We can't wait. We can't wait for others to make our decisions for us. You have intelligence. You have brilliance. Every grandmother is brilliant. Every one of you. You don't have to be told how to do it. You know. You didn't become a grandmother because someone has said, we learn as we go. We raised our children. We're raising our grandchildren. We're out there. The only thing that you need is the motivation to step through those doors.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need, is constant motivation and intention, desire to keep learning, to keep showing up. So it's been a pleasure to meet with you today. You probably saw my book. I'm an author. And I wrote a cute little book called Mary's First Bubble Bag, because my desire is to have joy restored to our children's hearts. I want to see them be happy.
Yeah.
What happened to the happiness? I had a happy childhood. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But the swing sets and the roller skating, bike riding, it was simple.
Yeah.
I want to see our children smile. I want to see them restore their joy in their lives.
Yeah.
How do we do that? We do it by the members that showed up today. It's at the heart. your hearts. Please keep bringing your heart to the doors and showing up. I know we can do this. So thank you, Aretha, Sandra, thank you, and the various board members. Thank you.
And if you do not have an email address, please go and write your phone number in that space. Save Broward will be reaching out to you for next steps. As the grandmas will tell you, don't waste time organizing. Once we say we want to do something and we are committed to do it, our next step is to go ahead and make it happen. To connect with the folks who have the resources, the time, and the skill set to do it. All right? So if you want to connect with me, my number is 954-610-9107. That's 954-610-9107. My email is Aretha, ARETHA, at savebroward.org. That's savebroward.org. And you can also get some information about what we do and what we're doing next with race and the races. Sandra is going to be doing more of these community outreach and engagement where you're leading the conversation and you're leading the discussion. 2024 is going to be about giving you all the tools and resources that you need. So we're so grateful that Sandra with Race and the Races has connected with us and has just maintained their consistent commitment for Grandma How You Doing. We're so grateful for that. And if there are no other questions, I think that wraps us up. Just again, stop by Sandra if you haven't given her your free, or I don't remember how long it is, interview. Just go and say a few chats about how we're going to make this happen for our kids. Thank y'all so much for coming today. Please make sure I have your email address, and we'll be sending out information for February's meeting, probably over the next week or two. So it's important that you attend our next meeting so that we can keep going forward. Because you did commit to that, I got it on video. All right, good day, everybody.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I came into your space.
Hey, Sandra.
How's it
Hey,
going?
good. Tom Bassett.
Yeah, we met at the discipline meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, we sat next to each other.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Going great.
Yeah.
Just a shout out to everybody.
Okay, yeah. So let me do the video, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move over. Y'all, I ain't technical, so give me a couple minutes. Let me get myself together.
Elections have consequences.
I think I stopped it and I wasn't supposed to. Come over here.
Elections have consequences.
All right, y'all, we're back. We're going to get some community feedback. We got Thomas Vasquez that's going to tell you what his thoughts were on the PTA and PTSO meeting with Jeff Holden showing up, and Debbie Hickson our Broward County School Board member, vice chairs here. So tell us, what are your thoughts on them? What you got to say?
Sandra, I gotta
Go
say
ahead,
this.
look right into the camera.
This was a fantastic opportunity. If you didn't make it, you missed out. We had incredible energy in the room. We had all kinds of feedback coming in. Great facility here at the African American Cultural Library and Cultural Center. I want to put out that you can be encouraged here in District 5. I live here in District 5, and I tell you that with community coming together in this kind of way, you're going to see a difference. So I highly encourage anybody to get involved. And if you didn't know, it's our grandmas leading the charge. That's right. Grandmas are out here telling us we're going to get these schools right. They're going to bring back a little bit of their feedback and how we need to go in the new direction. And it's very, very encouraging. So I highly encourage you to come on out. We're going to have another meeting here on February. We'll all get together and let's save our kids here in District 5.
You feel some of that pressure from the grandmas? You feel that sort of pressure from the grandmas?
It's inspiring, absolutely inspiring. Listen, when anybody wants to know, should I go left or right with a decision, who better to go to than grandma? Grandma been there, done that, and she got nothing but love for you. So absolutely thank you for having this event. Everybody in District 5, we need to rally together, get it right when it comes to our schools. And I tell you, the topic specifically was how to make a PTO or PTA. And that's something that we're lacking in District 5. You know, change comes by coming together. And at the school level, a PTO or PTA is incredible the impact they can have. I personally have been touched by them. I give you a quick story.
Yes, give it to us.
So for me, I'm an education advocate. I've been involved in education for many, many years. I got 6 children, 4 went to public school. And what started the education journey for me was I had a son who was autistic. And that's a very challenging.
I have an autistic daughter too.
So we know.
Yes,
so you know the steps of what do I do and the impact it has on the family. And it was a PTO member who let me know that it was going to be okay. It was going to be okay. Don't know where to go with that, how to fix that. And that kind of opened my eyes to, well, yeah, we trust the schools. That's our resource. But you need to be there and make sure you advocate. And all these things started coming through the PTO, PTA, which then led me into that direction of school advocacy. Like I said, I eventually ran for school board in my old district where I was at. So it's something that can change families and change lives. And all it really requires is a heart. Is a heart and caring about the kids. You can make a big difference at this level at the PTO, PTA. And I highly encourage you, if you've never done it before, if you love our kids, you want to see a positive change in schools, this is the best way to get after it.
And what else do you think? So since we're talking a little bit about District 5, what else do you think besides adding the PTAs and the PTOs to the schools that are there? What else do you think that can happen to make this community, you know, that the grades for the schools in the community get better?
I'm going to tell you.
What recommendations would you make?
I'm going to tell you, this is where we're at. Not only big picture wise, everybody knows that our children are a little behind where they need to be due to COVID, due to a number of different things. So really, the story is where we at in District 5, we got to play catch up. We got to play catch up. That's not only District 5, that's everybody. And we're going to need everybody to do it. We can't go back to normal. Normal is not going to get us where we need to be.
We have a new normal.
We have a new normal. So we really got to look as a community, and our decision makers need our input. We got to be the ones, since we know we're there, there's our kids, to tell them, listen, we got to drive in this direction. We got to make sure that we pay priority to this and not to that, and shape the direction we got to go. Because we got to catch our kids up, and they're going to be excelling. We got a lot of resources here in District 5. That's one thing that we haven't even tapped into. So coming together, having your voice heard, focusing together as a group is going to make big dividends.
Yeah, and when you talk about, especially with the public schools and being involved, it's important. You know, he mentioned that he has a daughter with autism. I also have one. I actually took my daughter out of public school for a year, put her in a private school, thinking it was going to be better, and it turned out that it wasn't. So I ended up bringing her back into the public school system, and that's what a lot of us have to do. So we have to require and demand the best out of the public school system, because we're paying tax dollars. I live in a city where I found out that a third of our tax money goes to Broward County Public Schools. So
That's right.
I definitely,
That's right.
And if you guys find out from your cities how much of your tax dollars actually go into the school system, you're going to demand and require more from the public school system. And that knowledge is power. this type of community event gets you, informs you of those things. So we definitely need to expect more from our public school system, and parents, grandparents, community folks need to come together and make those demands on that.
Very well said, Sandra. I can't agree more. And I'm gonna tell you, I share that same experience with you. My son, we decided to go public schools for the very same reason. Public schools have a lot of advantages, and this is one. And those that haven't been involved before, I gotta tell you, there's no fear. There's no fear, because when it comes to our public money, when it comes to our public resources, the way you shape that is voice. It's coming together. And that's what happened in my advocacy before. That's what happens, especially for all our kids. So coming together, this is our time. We make our presentation to our leaders, our decision makers, and you can allocate resources just by showing up and being present.
And they have to listen to us. And that's one of the things that people don't think. They have to listen to us because they're going to need your vote again, right?
They're gonna need
and then
it.
if they don't listen and they're not making the impact of from the promises that they made to you, then they shouldn't get to stay. And that's the end of it. Because at this point, we really have no more time. Like, I mean, my kids are 14 and I can't believe how fast those 14 years went.
fly.
Like in
They
3 years,
fly.
like in the next 4 years, they're going to all be gone. And I'm like, my mind is blown, right? So we need to make those demands. We don't have time to keep giving them opportunities to make promises that they're not going to keep, right?
Exactly.
We need folks that are going to come in, do exactly what they said they're going to do, and we understand it's a collaborative effort, but they need to come in and do the things that they're saying that they're going to do.
You know, you got an election coming up. There's the chance for people to take a look at the local level, at the school level. Your vote has a lot of power behind it. So take what you have. Take your time, take your love, take your passion, have your voices heard. Come on now, shape the district in the way you need it to go, because you can make a difference.
Absolutely. And hold your power, because you have way more power.
Yes, you do.
And voters have way more power than they give themselves credit for.
And the one message I would share with our community is now. It's now.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of work to catch up with. Our kids need us now. Maybe you haven't been involved before, but this is a perfect time. So again, on that note, come on out. The meetings will come out here in February. Next one, share and socialize with everybody in District 5, everybody coming together, and you're going to see a very positive change.
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, the District 5 elected official, Dr. Jeff Hollis, made a commitment today. He made a commitment
That's right.
today. It's all recorded. It was on the live,
hold him
and I
accountable.
posted it
Hold him
again.
accountable.
He held it accountable that he's going to work on getting those PTAs and PTOs, and we need all of you to hold his feet to the fire to make sure he does absolutely that.
And you know what's exciting about what I heard today? I don't know how it's going to turn out for the PTA here in District 5, which is shaping, but it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
Because what I heard is that we're thinking about putting a district-wide PTO, PTA. That's a lot of wasta. As they say, that's a lot of power there. If we speak for the whole district, you're going to have an opportunity to shape the education for your kids. So don't be scared, moms, dads out there. Come on out, grandmas, granddads, community leaders. Be involved, be there for our kids. This is our chance to get together early in 2024, look at what we have, and really shape the future, especially with elections coming up and our elected officials. We can really, let them know this is what we want, and they'll be listening.
Right, and we also heard about some of the changes that having a PTA and PTO does. I think it was a PTO organizer said they got like $10,000 and they sell T-shirts at the beginning of the school year, right? And at my daughter's school, they sell T-shirts with the school logo on there, so they can use it as part of their uniform, right?
Absolutely.
So those are things that you can think about too. Get one of them together. They raise money and do all different types of things for the school that you can't wait for the red tape to solve, right? Because they don't have all these restrictions on what they can do with the funding. So if a wall needs to be painted or something needs to happen in the room, the PTO can raise that money and get it all done by just selling T-shirts that can become part of the uniform.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of power in that. Right?
Absolutely.
And then she also told us another story about somebody embezzling money. We ain't gonna get into that.
This is why we need to be involved. We need to be involved.
So that
make sure that things don't go awry.
Yeah.
But I like to add one more.
There's a lot of power in that.
There's a lot of power. There's a lot of power. And it's not just the money. It's not just this. I tell you, I went to a school earlier this week, won't name it, here in District 5. And as I walked in, I saw a kid and I thought of myself, because he was kind of up against the corner there, and the administrators were letting him know he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. And so I got to talk to the kid a little bit, and I saw myself in there. I used to get in trouble back in the day a little bit, but you know what PTOs can do? And we talk about these T-shirts, is that you brings people together and you could change the perspective of a kid, at least like I was. Once I see that they care, people really care about me, it's powerful and it's life changing.
Yes.
So it's not just the money, the bullets, the money, the presents, the t-shirts. It's that we're all in it together that makes a big difference in a kid's life. So highly encouraged. It matters. Come on out and support. Our kids need you, and the vibe here is electric and it's fantastic.
Yeah, you hear all the noise of the music in the
Oh,
background.
absolutely.
The event is over and people are still here talking.
I can't wait till next meeting. I'll see what's
Yeah.
gonna happen next. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Sandra.
much for coming.
Go District 5.
That's right. We got a lot of hope for all of the great things that are about to happen here. All right. Thank you so much. All right. It was good talking to you. I think one of the other grandmas are coming. Oh, Rosalie, you coming? I believe another grandma's gonna come over here and have a conversation with me. So I'm waiting for her to come on over. I see our vice chair, Debbie Hickson's here. I don't know if she's gonna come over and say what's up too, but that'll be good to hear from her for like a few minutes or whatever. I'll see if she's gonna come by and have a conversation with us. But I see that she's here. Hi, somebody just say hi. Just say hi.
I just want to say sorry.
Yeah, just say hello.
Just
Say hi. Hi. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you too. That's our vice chair. Hi, how you doing? Say hi. Yeah, say hi too. Say hi too. Hello. Yes, so this is our vice chair, the president of PTA. Yes, I will see you there. Okay. She came here with some great putting this together because you're the one that invited our District 5 school representative to be here and all of the people from Title I. Thank you so much for doing this. It was an amazing event, and I think people are inspired and encouraged for that. And what are your thoughts about the turnout and how the event was?
It was glad to see so many people here, and I agree with you. This is the stepping stone, right? We're not going to change everything in one big thing. So the people that were here will say, "Hey, it was a great event."
Yeah.
And there were 2 people from Dillard Elementary that are definitely invested in starting a PTA. So let's start there. Like I said, add on with them and maybe start that community one where everybody else maybe is nervous about it. And once that's strong and solid, then you can start reaching out to the individual schools.
Absolutely.
I think we all made a commitment.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we all
live.
made a commitment to making sure that moves forward. And as I went around to the schools as a countywide school board member, one of the things that I noticed was everyone kept asking for things that PTAs do. Murals on the wall, beautification of the schools.
Yes.
And I had actually selected one school from each district and did that personally on my own to do murals and beautifications, partnering with Home Depot and the PTA.
Yeah.
PTAs, what it would look like.
And it's awesome because my daughter has a PTA at her school, and some of the students don't like to wear the collared uniform shirts. So the PTA was able to design a T-shirt that they can wear as part of their uniform and sell it to the students at the school. So they can do a lot of wonderful things, and there's no restriction on the money that they raise. So if you want to have a mural or do some beautification project at your school, the PTA can accommodate that, and it can benefit the students.
Right, and the partnerships are so important because principals, they're very busy.
Yeah.
And to try to ask for partnerships in a community that may not have those resources makes it very difficult. So when we're doing teacher appreciation or back to school, some schools don't have what other schools have. Just because they just don't have the resources. So when you have a PTA, they have the ability and the manpower to be able to and maybe go a little bit outside that particular community to find a resource that's going to be able to do those things, or beautification and buy the plants or the mulch that you need, all of those things. So I really, as a countywide school board member, I look at it as being that conduit for people, right? How do we pair people together? Oh, you need that? Well, I know about this over here. Exactly. Putting that together and then working with the districted member to make sure it works.
And that's important. A lot of those companies, it's part of their marketing plan. They have no problem, and then to give something to the public school system, that is that's no better PR, right? There's no better PR. So yes, and PTSA and PTO, PTA folks, they have more time to do that because a principal already have a long list of jobs that ends past 2:30. So yeah, definitely need people in the community to do that. And I just want to add that Debbie is up for re-election this year. Primaries are in August, right? August. I don't know if anyone's running against against you, but it don't matter. She's doing the job. So her primary is in August and the election is in November. So definitely check her out. Consider donating to the campaign. She didn't ask y'all, but I asked y'all for her because she's running for re-election to keep her seat, and we want to see that happen. I say thank you so much.
We look forward to making it.
Yes, absolutely. You've been putting in the work. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You too. You too. All right. Thank you. So yeah, we got that interview with our countywide school board member Debbie Hickson that was here checking out the event. Was a very integral part in making this whole thing happen. So we're glad that she was able to stay here and actually took a little bit of time to even sit and talk to us as we're wrapping up this event. I believe we have one more grandma that's going to come and give her feedback. So we've had like a former candidate position on what the event looked like. We have our countywide school board elected member came and spoke about the impact and the power of this event. And now we're going to hear from one of the grandmas. And the grandmas are really the driving force behind what's going on right now, what's happening. So, we're going to have her come and tell us like how she feels, how she's going to continue this work, keep spreading the message about, what it is that we need to do to make sure we make some changes in District 5. As school board member, vice chair of the school board, Debbie Hickson, was saying, is that you can get a PTA and that can help with some of the beautification projects that you need on campus. If you need mulch, sometimes people want to have a mural. PTAs and PTSAs and PTOs can be the folks that can raise the money and make that happen. And even if they can't get the money, they can establish the partnerships that are needed in order for these things to happen. So it's a very important initiative. Grandma, how you doing? Is really putting these folks together to connect them with the right people in the community that can help them do that. And we need to be here to be extremely supportive. And I was talking about Debbie Hickson is up for re-election. Also, Jeff Honus, who is the elected school board member of District 5, he's up for a re-election too. His primaries are in August of this year, and the actual election is in November. So, we got to make that happen. It's time for us to make a change and see a change, and the voters and the people in the community are the ones that's here to do that. So let me check with Ms. Rosalie and see if she's ready. Ms. Rosalie, you ready? Mama, you ready? Yes, I'm ready. I don't really interrupt, but you ready to tell us what's going on? Have a seat here and let us know, what did you think about the event and what are the impact? Are you inspired? Let's go. Tell us.
I am so inspired, very inspired. We need this. We really need this, and we really need PTA, PTOs to come to our school and help our children. All our nationality children. They're coming over here and they all need education. They need our grandmother's help. Grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends. The children need us all. And everybody is a family. There is no embarrassment and there is no right or wrong answers. We just do the best I can, and we're going to love our kids. And we want our kids to come to us, no matter what the reason is, come to us and ask us for guidance. And that's what we're here for, to guide our kids and for them to join our PTA. Oh my God, I got so much education from PTA that I didn't even know that really exists. Parents, if you hear this podcast, please.
It's when you hear this podcast.
Oh, when you hear this podcast,
yes.
Please get involved with your child's school. It is so important. If you can't make it, ask grandma. Grandma can't make it, ask grandpa. Grandpa can't make it, ask auntie. Your cousins, everybody. We need all the support
She's
basically
saying it takes a village. It takes a village, right? We need everybody to be part of this to make this happen.
Everybody to make this happen because we love our kids. Because we want for our kids today and getting our knowledge and these kids around the world that are making a difference in this world, we really need more children to stand up. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's what we believe in, and we know our kids are going to get it. And education is paramount, and safety is paramount for our kids. And we love our kids.
And so, when they do get the PTAs and the PTOs started, what type of support are you expecting, or would you like to see them provide to the children that are in the schools?
I would like to see.
Because I know you spoke about the students that speak different languages that are in the community.
Yes.
What kind of help do you think the PTAs can do for the different language speakers that are in your neighborhood?
You know, I think that since we do have a lot of people that speak different languages, maybe hiring an interpreter or something like that there that can really reach the parents, because we need them all. And for the kids that may fall into the cracks, that's why we need our PTA for the kids that don't want to be left behind. That's what I mean about falling in the cracks, that we don't want them to be left behind, because education is very important.
It is. And so, in terms of hiring, like sometimes the school board or the process to hire someone takes a long time. But if we have an active PTA or PTO, we can have volunteer parents that are bilingual that can come in and volunteer to school and fill in the gap. Because, you'll have children who their parents don't speak a language. And when they come to the office, there may not be a staff member that speaks that language. But if we have a volunteer bilingual parent that's there, that's part of the PTA, they can assist them in navigating all of that. So
yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a very good point to shine a light on the fact that there are multilingual students that are in the school system that need help. Because they don't have enough folks, even in the office, that are presently working that could communicate with them. But if we have a good PTA, PTO, we got volunteers there that can also assist with that.
Yes. So, because see, that is so important, and that's all about reaching our kids.
Yes.
And that's our number one goal. Is to reach our kids, no matter what the situation is. And I know that there is some kids that have issues, have problems, that sometimes you can't go to your parent and talk to them. Because I've been a bus driver. I've been a bus driver for 15 years. And I have came across a lot of kids. And all they wanted to hear is someone to listen. And that's what the PTA is for, is to listen and try to get families to be as one.
And this is going back to that whole village again. Because I be yelling at my kids too, because I be tired. But, so I hope they have somebody else that they can go talk to in those moments when my patience is low, right? So we definitely need that village, and we need everybody involved, so they can have time to listen, or just have a different perspective on what they're observing from this child. So again, we're creating that village by creating these PTAs and PTOs in the school system, and so that's what we want to do. So thank you so much, Grandma, for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yes. I haven't seen you in a while. That's partly on me, but yes, I'm definitely going to be back to come in more often. This was not the event so we're going to bring the baskets back. You know what I mean? Because I know they were very helpful. I hope they were really helpful. So I'll be bringing the baskets back next month. Right? I'll be bringing the basket back next month, and then we're going to go from there, because I love this community, and I hope they love me back.
Yes. Family.
Yes.
Family, that's what we are. Have a good day.
Yes, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you. That was Miss Rosalie here, one of the awesome grandmas that's always here. She shows up every single time. So thank you all for hanging in there. I don't know how long this live was, but it was a long one, and folks were coming in and out. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for the patience with us or whatever. I don't know, were you gonna make a comment? Did you want to say something about the event? No, so, okay. Okay, I'm just trying to find out if
I don't know. I want to be useful.
Yes. So I believe y'all were the parents from Diller that wanted to give us some feedback on that. And do you think that the school board member answered your question? So now we have two parents who are trying to, or they want to set up PTA at Dillard Elementary School. So talk about that experience and tell us whether or not you think our countywide school board member, District 5 school board member gave you some inspiration in that being able to happen.
Oh, I think that they both did. They gave us a lot of inspiration because it's been a bit of a struggle. And I think
what was the struggle that you had, just for those who may just be catching?
I think the struggle, well, Dillard Elementary just got a new principal, so she's trying to adjust to her role.
Okay.
And I understand that. And there's only so much the administration can do to actually be a part of the PTA. As far as the setup and some other things that we learned here, why we felt that she was being standoffish, and now we understand more why. And then they also have a new community liaison. So everyone's just trying to, make their way. So we kind of got pushed. I don't want to say pushed aside because they say they want to give us the support, but everybody's wearing so many hats. We kind of get forgotten. I'll say that.
Right, and that's one of the things that PTA and PTOs can help. Right, it's kind of take some of the pressure off them, just to assist in any way that they can. Because they do have like really long job titles.
Yes, and then even more in our areas, where we have teacher shortages, we have a lack of available funds, things like that. So I know that everyone is busy. They're trying to do everything. And even though we're trying to set up something to help our children and help them, we got to get what's done on the list first.
Yeah,
we're
starting from the bottom because I have never personally done that.
I haven't either. My story is very much like Mr. Rita was saying. We walked in to be like, hey, I want to just volunteer and help out, and I want to see this at the school. And it's like, okay, well, you got to do it. So it's one of those things like I should have never opened my mouth.
Well, no, you should have opened your mouth because now we're going to do it, and the board member committed to making it happen. Yes. He gave y'all his card, and I'm going to need y'all to call me, email.
Oh, no, we will.
Yes.
We will. Because we want to not even, the board member Hickson also gave us a very helpful idea that maybe we should join forces with other schools, which is a beautiful idea because we do have a lack of parent involvement, and our kids need us more than anybody else. They need the parents, they need the caregivers in the home to be active in their school life, because it's not separate. It is one thing.
And I was amazed to hear the lady said that they made, one of the PTO organizers was saying that they make like $10,000 selling t-shirts in the beginning of the year. And who doesn't like a good t-shirt, right? And you can probably even get the school or the kids involved and have them design it and have a competition, and whoever t-shirts win, that's the one everyone wears. I know at my daughter's school what they do is like they design a t-shirt that they can use as part of the uniform. So once they buy the PTA t-shirt, they can wear it on as part of the uniform. So it just is a win-win for everybody. It raises money for the school, and the students get to not have to wear the polo shirt that day or something like that. You know what I mean?
And they always trying to take that off.
They really trying to get out. They always as soon as they get in the house, it's off. Absolutely.
So, and those were ideas that we had and we brought to the administration. But like I said, so everybody's so busy and they're very new to the school. We just kind of get lost in the shuffle, but I do feel very inspired. I can't speak for my inspired and some great ideas, and we think we were going to have the support that we need, not only from the administration, but the school board and the PTA set up committee.
Grandma, how you doing?
And grandma, how you doing? Because they committed to come help out and volunteer, which our children need so much. They need that one-on-one, and just know that somebody cares for them other than the teacher, where they feel the teacher may be obligated or the administration may be obligated, but someone to come in from the community that looks like them, which I think is a huge thing. That's sitting here going, I love you, even though I meet you in this moment. I want to see you thrive. I want to see our community thrive, because the children are our future. I know
they are. No, it's real though. It's
but
real.
They're the ones we have to leave this world to, and we want to see it continue.
Right. Thank you. All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
It was very informative today to be here. Left with some good books.
Good
information. So,
No, thank you so much for coming and participating. All right.
Okay.
All right then. Let us know if anything you need. Then we're here to help you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So much.
Okay. All right, y'all. I think that's gonna be the end of it. So another successful Grandma, how you doing? This is the first one of 2024. PTA PTO is gonna start happening in District 5, and Miss Aretha, she's out there busy. So y'all saw her on the show on Wednesday. So that's it. We're gonna end it right here. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of the comments, and see y'all on Wednesday. I'll be talking to somebody that day. I don't know who. It's gonna be somebody though. All right, be good. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences.